Good evening, and welcome to our show, Brookfield Public Advocate. I'm your host, Bruce Senig. In a continuing effort to inform our audience about events and organizations that may, so to speak, be below the radar, we will discuss a relatively new program here in Brookfield. Tonight, the Advocate's topic is Fish of Brookfield, and here representing Fish are Peg Caswer and Carol Howe. First, a little background on our guests. Peg Caswer has lived in Brookfield since 1968. The proud mother of 3 and grandmother of 5, is a former educator, initially in Stamford and then here in Brookfield. Later, Peg then entered the business world as a project program manager with an engineering firm. On the community level, she has been a past president of the Newcomers Club, and for 4 years has been involved with Hand in Hand at Huckleberry Hill School, where she helps second graders strengthen their writing and reading skills. She is the secretary for the Brookfield Commission on Aging, and for 2 years has volunteered at Camp Sunshine, which is in Maine, a camp where children with serious medical issues can attend with their families. Our second guest is Carol Howe, also a longtime Brookfield resident, having lived here since 1969 when she began teaching 7th grade. She's taught English, reading, social studies, and even has served as a part-time counselor. After leaving teaching, she eased into retirement by working part-time at the library and a local pharmacy for 7 years. Now fully retired, Carol volunteers at the Brookfield Congregational Church. She delivers Meals on Wheels and provides family support and bereavement support for regional hospice. In her free time, she enjoys traveling, reading, and gardening. Ladies, thank you for coming and welcome to our show.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Now, I have to admit, I have not heard too much about Fish. First, what exactly is Fish?
Well, Fish stands for Friends in Service Here, and it is a program worldwide, I believe. We, of course, are local for Brookfield residents only. It came about because the Commission on Aging, under the leadership of Dottie Miles, had put together a survey that was sent out to all residents in Brookfield age 55 or older to investigate and determine what kind of needs they had. The results of this survey indicated that transportation was a major issue. There were over 700 responses from the survey, which was a great return on our effort. And the Commission on Aging began to think about if we need better transportation for these seniors, what could we provide? And Fish came up in our discussions, and we began investigating how we could implement it, and Carol could tell us a little bit about all the things we did in preparation. Carol?
Yes, we did quite a lot of homework before we put the program in effect. There are towns nearby that have a fish program. We contacted guests from Woodbury who came, spoke to the Commission on Aging, gave us some ideas and some tips. I talked with representatives of Fish in Newtown. They have a program. They helped us out. And then we had a person from the Red Cross who drives for the Red Cross came and gave us some tips and some ideas as well. Once we had met these people, we put our heads together and said, what from them can we use in Brookfield? And so we began getting this folder together with announcements and letters and so forth, and we kind of just went from there and put our own ideas in.
Yeah.
The other thing that the survey provided us, which really was amazing, was we found a number of folks who were interested in driving seniors who had difficulty getting to the grocery store or to church or to medical appointments. So that gave us a list of possible drivers to start with, which really was very helpful.
I'm sure. So mainly then FISH is about helping people with transportation?
Yes, transportation to medical related appointments only. And they must be ambulatory people. They must be able to walk from their house to the car and get in the car, because we are just everyday people that like to try to help our neighbors. Right. Yes.
Okay. Is there, I don't know, I think you might have already summed it up, but is there a so-called mission statement for FISH, or have you basically kind of summed that up in
Yeah,
your
there is
characterization?
a mission statement. It's concern for our neighbors by driving ambulatory, disabled, and/or senior citizens, residents of Brookfield, to medical appointments. We do that on Wednesdays and Thursdays between the hours of 9 and 2.
Okay. Now, you've recently started, that was this year, I believe, 2011. I recall seeing, I think probably a few months ago, I think it was maybe early summer, an article in the News Times. But other than that, and that's why I contacted you, I really haven't seen much else out there. Is the word getting out?
We have advertised in the town's churches, put, as you say, articles in the News Times and Housatonic Times, and we're hoping basically word of mouth will eventually bring us future clients and volunteer drivers.
So the FISH of Brookfield then would fall under the Commission on Aging, is that correct?
And the Senior. Brookfield Senior Center.
Oh,
Those
okay.
two groups are supporting us, sponsoring us. We had an organizational meeting in July where we had, I think, 21 or 22 people show up that were interested in driving. We explained the program to them and asked if they continued to be interested, would they fill out the appropriate forms, which they did. And I think today we have somewhere upwards of, what, 26 drivers?
28
maybe?
drivers.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. So we're doing quite well. In fact, some of them have called because they were disappointed on their day that they didn't have to drive.
Is that right?
Yeah. And they said, please put me down for another day. I really am anxious to help. So that's really great news.
It's a good sign.
That really is, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, it sounds like you have a lot of people willing to help. How is it organized? It sounds like you have a lot of Indians. Do we have a lot of chiefs?
You're looking at two of the chiefs.
Okay.
That's a great way of answering it, Carol. Yes, I think you're, and we're, we don't hold any title. We're just trying to keep it rolling. And we do have a scheduler who unfortunately could not join us today. Her name is Gina Freese, and she handles the monthly schedule that is put together and emailed out to those those drivers who have email, mailed to those who don't, and she keeps on top of that. And of course, our answer machine is providing the information we need. What else do we need? We do have a list, a spreadsheet of the drivers and all their information that we're trying to keep up to date. But we certainly could use more drivers, and in that respect, perhaps expand our program, which we would like to do, right, Carol?
That's our goal, is to start small, get organized, work out the kinks, and then as more drivers express an interest, we hope to go maybe 4 days a week.
Okay, so expand in the number of days, not
that's
necessarily
our goal.
duties.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Now, topic usually that comes up with different agencies and everything, funding. Are you funded? You know, is this part of the town's budget? Or talk a little bit about funding, if you could, for our viewers.
Carol, you want that?
We are primarily funded somewhat by the senior center. We don't really need a lot of funding since it's all volunteer.
Volunteer drivers.
We certainly would welcome donations if people are interested, but it is truly not for profit, and we got a little help for our main expense is the telephone answering service, and we were able to get a little help with that.
Right, the Friends of the Brookfield Senior Center, that's where if anyone is interested in making a contribution, they can accept contributions for fish. They are the 501(c) organization under which we come through the Brookfield Senior Center. And I must say, we checked out telephone companies and found a wonderful one that really is quite reasonable, considering the fact that we are a low-budget outfit. So between the Commission on Aging and the Brookfield Senior Center through the Friends of the Brookfield Senior Center, we're able to take care of our small budgetary requirements.
Yeah, that's great.